can our strength become our problem, our merit the source of our trouble? Perhaps is a question that would have bothered some of you at least now and then in your life. In this video, I would like to draw your attention to the fact that human beings, institutions, societies, nations get into trouble not only because of their weaknesses, which are many, but also because of their strengths and their merits. In case there are members of this YouTube fellowship who seem or who feel skeptical about what I am saying, let us examine this proposition that our merits, our strengths, our wealth, our distinctions could be as great a problem as our weaknesses, our poverty, our disabilities, etc. Now look at the current situation. I'm going to restrict the range of our consideration or thinking to what is happening right in front of us at the present time. Let's consider the Iran, Iraq, USA situation, the triangle. Not the love triangle, but the war triangle. Now the interesting thing here is that all three nations are in trouble because of their strengths. Let us start with America, the mightiest of all powers, the richest of all nations, and with Trump at the apex of it, the mightiest office on planet Earth. He's in serious trouble. He couldn't even complete the G7 summit in Canada and had to rush back to attend a hastily convened meeting in the Situation Room. Why did that happen? Well, if you really look at it, the interesting thing is that America is in this state and Donald Trump is in this pickle because America has a very coveted weapon called BBB, bunker busting bomb. Now it's a bomb weighing 30,000 pounds which can penetrate the earth, including rocky surfaces, to a depth of at least 100 feet and then explode. This bomb will explode only after it has penetrated the area of attack, the site of attack, to the extent of at least 100 feet. Then it explodes. Now, this is absolutely essential if the Israeli plan to take out the important nuclear facilities of Iran is to succeed. Israel, with whatever technology and weapons it had, attacked the Natanz nuclear facility and has caused considerable damage, though with limited radiation leak. But the real linchpin in all of this is a center called the Fordow nuclear facility, which is where the enrichment of uranium happens. Now this facility is hidden deep underground for obvious reasons. And if this facility is to be destroyed, without which the Israeli project, the Israeli campaign cannot be deemed successful or complete, Israel needs America's help. And not only that, this bomb has to be used, what complicates the situation further is that this bomb cannot be easily fitted with any other aircraft. Only one aircraft can deliver this bomb, and that is the dreaded American B-2 bomber, which can carry one such bomb, and some experts say it can carry up to 2 bombs of this size, 30,000 pounder bombs. Now, if America did not have this technology, there would have been no pressure on America to join. Israel would have said, you relax, we'll complete the job on our own. Israel has done very well so far without the American direct participation. America may have facilitated it up to a point. To what extent we do not know, but I'm quite inclined to believe that Israel could not have achieved this near miraculous success so far without the American connivance, American complicity, and American facilitation to a very meaningful extent. So, but for this great technological marvel that America has, the pressure that today is operating on President Trump and the American war establishment would have been non-existent. So, America is paying the price for its great achievements. That's one point. Now, consider Israel. Israel is suffering not because of its incompetence, not because of its weakness. It's suffering precisely because of the mind-boggling merit, competence, achievements, and strengths of the Jewish state. If Israel were a mediocre people and an ordinary state, very likely they would have been ignored. Of course, you can always argue that in that case, Hamas would have, or Palestinians would have overrun Israel. Well, there is a point in it which I don't want to dispute, but this larger scope, the reason why Israel is perceived as the number one threat by all countries in this region, at least up until the time that Donald Trump in his first term of office came up with the Abraham Accord project, is that Israel is eminently successful and it's become a regional superpower without actually the means or the wherewithal to attain that status. If Israel today enjoys the status of being a regional superpower, it's not because Israel has natural resources or the economy to go with it. That achievement is singularly on account of the Jewish genius. And that spreads scare, fear, among others. Now, with what little sense of history we have, we can now realize in hindsight the reason why the Jews ended up being persecuted wherever they went except in India was precisely this, that they attracted the envy, the distrust, and the resentment of the people around them because they were so eminently successful in whatever they attempted to do. In Europe, the Jews were put under various disabilities by law. They couldn't join the army, they couldn't join the administration, they couldn't participate in politics. The only field open to them for a very long time was finance. So what happened? In quick time, the Jews dominated European finance brutally, which then became an added source of irritation. And the Jews began to be all the more despised, suspected, feared, and hated. So if you look at Jewish history, they have been in chronic trouble, not because they did not have ability or merit or competence, but precisely because they were a people of genius. They achieved commendable success and they became the object of everybody's envy, and from envy to hatred and distrust is a very small step. Now consider Iran. Why is this irreconcilable conflict between Iran and Israel boiling over all the time? It's because, or more precisely, why is the Iranian bomb such a big issue? As I argued in one of my previous videos, an atom bomb in itself, a nuclear bomb in itself is not a big issue. There are 9 countries in the world who have atom bombs. None of them is using it. None of them can use it. It's a point I have argued sufficiently in my previous video. Therefore, I will not revisit the old site. But there is a reason why an Iranian bomb is of particular importance. And that's because of the strength of the assumed, presumed, suspected strength of the Islamic mind. Now, the world over, Muslims are feared, respected, taken seriously, precisely because they have no hesitation in dying. In simple, straightforward terms, we would say that there is a certain element, a highly development element of recklessness in the Islamic psyche, in the Muslim psyche. Now, the Americans can never forget the 9/11, when 19 young Muslims hijacked aviation planes. They were not fighter aircrafts. Aviation planes, ran them straight into the Twin Towers and caused the death of 3,000 people. That's an episode similar to the October 7 attack of Hamas on Israel, wiping out some 1,200 Jews. These two events will never be forgotten till the end of history. Now, what made that attack possible was this very strength of the Islamic mind, recklessness, the readiness to die. Now, though the nuclear bomb in itself is not a problem, but the nuclear bomb is complemented with this recklessness, with the readiness to die, readiness to perish to prove a point, then it becomes a very, very different issue. So, from the perspective of the Jews, from the perspective of the Western world, whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, I don't like it, but I have to accept the fact that to the Western mind as well as the Jewish mind, an Islamic bomb is a very different proposition to the bomb or the nuclear bomb in the possession of all other countries. Now you will then ask me, what about the Pakistani bomb? Pakistan also is an Islamic state. It's a professed Islamic state. Well, the Pakistani bomb is not much of a problem except to India, for the reason that for all practical purposes, the control of the Pakistani nuclear facility is with America. Pakistanis will debate it, dispute it, etc., but the fact is that Pakistan cannot choose to use or press the nuclear button as and when that country likes it. Why do you think Trump intervened immediately between India and Pakistan, though we deny it, when the action was escalating? It's precisely because of the nuclear issue. And the nuclear issue will involve America, willy-nilly, there's no question about it. So, an Iranian bomb is quite different from a Pakistani bomb. The Iranian bomb is the classic Islamic bomb, which is an object of added terror both to the West and to the Jews. And you can very well argue that all this is psychological, this is, shall we say, pathological, this is mere paranoia. Factually, that may be correct. Now, for example, look at the confusion about the Iranian bomb. Is Iran close to making a bomb? The chief intelligence officer of the United States of America, Tulsi Gabbard, says that Iran is far away from making a bomb. It has no intention to make a nuclear bomb. But the President of America, who appointed her, says, I don't care what she says, Iran is very close to it. Now, what we must understand from this is, facts are not important here. What plays here is psychology, the psychology of fear. And the reason, the secret behind this psychology of intense and intensifying fear is the reality of the presumed Islamic recklessness which the Holocaust dimension of the nuclear bomb. The two coming together and becoming one is a nightmare that I wouldn't expect neither the Western world nor the Jews to make light of or take lightly. Though I wish, and I sincerely wish, the situation could have been different to what it is now. How I wish people could live in peace, in mutual love, in harmony, in brotherhood on this planet Earth, where we are merely pilgrims and sojourners. We have a little time allotted upon this earth. Nobody brings anything into this world. Nobody shall take anything out of it. Our time here is very transitory, very ephemeral, very temporary. All the great claims and the strutting and fretting of these great heroes upon the stage of history are like lines drawn on water. They come, they go, they don't leave an impact behind. But while they're alive, they think that the destiny of humankind is controlled with their little fingers. All these are delusions. Delusions. Unfortunately, the international arena is pathologically controlled by human delusions, and therefore anyone who tries to present issues factually, truthfully will be scorned, looked down upon, and dismissed as a madcap. But I have to say that this is not the way forward for humanity. There's only one way forward for humanity, and that way is love your neighbor as yourself. Thank you. Jai Hind.